But I gotta tell you, to me, one of the highlights of today is gonna be hearing from these two special young ladies who have flown from Dallas to come up here to Delaware. Please welcome Taylor Helland and Tara Schneider. Wow, how about that? Taylor is a freshman at Texas Christian University, and I think we're making a very good case here to have her transfer and be a Blue Hen. Her family is watching the live stream, so to her dad, Bob, you can just get the transfer paper ready.
All right. Hi, UDANCE. Okay, my name is Taylor Helland, and I'm 18 years old. I'm a freshman at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a Chi Omega. Y'all are crazy. And I'm a B positive kid. I flew all the way up here from Texas to tell you guys that y'all absolutely rock. 4 years ago, when I was 14, I was diagnosed with signet ring cell adenocarcinoma, a type of colon cancer. They told me that this type of cancer was extremely aggressive, and we mistakenly looked it up on Google and found the 5-year survival rate was only 13%. You cannot imagine how devastating this was, but I decided, along with my family and wonderful boyfriend and all my friends, to fight this. I would do everything I could to survive and live a happy, normal life. As our medical team was explaining the treatment options, my family decided that we would try as hard as we could to live in the moment, not regret the past, not worry about the future. We just wanted to enjoy the time we had now and not waste time on fear or worry. I was told the recommended routine was 12 3-day chemos. I would go into the hospital every other Friday, get connected to a rack of machines, and sit there for 3 days. That's 36 total days connected to a beeping bank of pumps running chemicals through my body. Not something most kids my age were doing. Once I had finally completed the 12 rounds of chemo, they sent me down to MD Anderson Hospital in Houston for a state-of-the-art surgical procedure called HIPEC. It's quite the ordeal. They cut open my abdomen and spread it wide open, 9 inches. Then they took about 2 hours looking and feeling around for any cancerous tissue. Next, they inserted 2 tubes and closed up the incision. The tubes then circulated very hot chemochemicals throughout my abdominal cavity for 90 minutes to kill any cancer cells that might be remaining. Then they reopened my abdomen, removed the tubes, and cleaned everything out. Finally, they stitched everything back up. You can only imagine this scar. I had to spend 4 weeks in Houston, and I missed my school and friends terribly. When I came home, I jumped right back into school, church, band, and shopping. A few weeks later, I went on our youth mission trip to Georgetown, Texas. I did have some small complications, which resulted in another surgery, but once that was done, I was in good shape. We had a couple of quarterly scans, which were all clear, and a wonderful Make-A-Wish trip to Italy. Things were going really well. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. Then in September of 2012, I started to have some more abdominal pain. CT scans showed 2 huge masses in my abdomen. The cancer had returned in a very aggressive way. It had only been about 2 months since my last clear scan, and so the tumors were growing really fast. The doctors were very concerned. They told us that this was very bad, and at the time, the chances of a cure are virtually 0. Well, even with the grim diagnosis, we didn't give up. With my amazing oncologist, Dr. Karen Albritton, we set out on a path to beat this again. We started a similar chemo treatment with 12 more 3-day rounds, and then I headed back down to Houston for a second round of the invasive HIPEC surgery. They cut me open and found that the 2 huge masses were my ovaries. The cancer had spread and my ovaries were huge. This was bad news in that they had to remove them, but good news in that my cancer was entirely contained within the ovaries. They did the heated chemo again and stitched me back up. I had 16 cancer-free months, which was my amazing senior year of high school. My school elected me homecoming queen, and I really enjoyed that year. Thanks. Last summer, I was accepted into TCU, but just as I was getting ready to head over to Fort Worth for Rush Week, a scan showed another mass near my right kidney. The cancer had returned again. I had another surgery to remove as much of the mass as they could, and I'm currently doing 3-day chemo treatments every other week. So this weekend, I was supposed to be at my 41st round, but that wasn't going to happen. I had a previous engagement in Delaware. I want to thank you all for being here today. It's really amazing. I want to give a special thanks to all the groups here who have been so wonderful working with your Be Positive kids. I especially want to mention the amazing Sigma Kappa ladies who were so wonderful to my friend Miranda Ramnolty. Thank you guys. I also want to thank my traveling buddy this weekend, Tara Schneider. Her wonderful brother Chaz went to heaven 2 years ago, and while her heart is broken, she has done an amazing job to honor her brother. She has just finished up her own fundraiser a few weeks ago where she took some of Chaz's designs and sold shirts to raise money. She raised over $1,000 for the Be Positive Foundation. Thank you, Tara. Thank you again, UDANCE. This event has grown over the years, and that's the most wonderful thing to a cancer patient like me. Please keep it up. Hopefully someday, thanks to your awesome work, another 14-year-old girl won't have to go through what I've been through. I want to especially thank Joe, Chris, Allie, Carly, Andrew, and everyone at Be Positive. You guys are truly incredible. Thank you so much for everything we do. You are wonderful. Before I leave, I have to tell you my Be Positive story. This journey has been life-altering for me, my family, and those around me. I've had 10 major surgeries and a total of 120 days of chemo. It's been horrible in some ways, but it's also been miraculously wonderful in a lot of ways. My dad says that when he watches the news, he thinks the whole world is going crazy. But over the past 4 years, we've truly seen the best in people. Page turn again. My incredible high school rallied together and decided to raise money to fight cancer in my honor. They made an amazing one-take lip dub video and sold pledges to raise money. The more hits the video received on YouTube, the more money that would be raised. So one of the greatest days of my entire cancer journey was the day Martin High School presented a check to MD Anderson for $15,000. We contacted my surgeon at MD Anderson, Dr. Andrea Hayes Jordan, to tell her about the generous donation. She had a pediatric colon cancer clinical trial all set to go, but since pediatric colon cancer is incredibly rare, she couldn't get any funding for the project. She was thrilled that my school had raised this much money. Unfortunately, the clinical trial was budgeted at more than double this amount. We were so frustrated, but we set out again to raise the rest. Suddenly, we received an email from a mysterious angel. She contacted us and said, "You don't know me, and I don't know you, but I follow you on Caring Bridge." She then went to tell us, "I see you're trying to raise money. Well, there was this amazing young man named Andrew, and there's this wonderful guy named Joe." And just like that, we were miraculously introduced to the Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation. My dad emailed Joe and told him about the clinical trial. Joe emailed back and asked a couple questions. My dad emailed him a couple of answers, then possibly the greatest single moment of this entire journey, Joe simply asked, "Where do I send the check?" Unbelievable. Now there's a pediatric clinical trial at one of the highest rated cancer hospitals in the world, thanks to Be Positive and you guys. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, Be Positive, and And thank you so much, UDANCE. I love every single one of you, and please keep dancing for the kids. Here's Tara.